Some people think the hardest part of caregiving is caregiving. But what if it's not? What if it's trying to do it alone?
Because here's what we've learned at Grace to Care. We've been talking to you guys, we've been hearing from you, and caregivers don't really need us to fix it for them. You really can't fix it. What we can do, though, is create spaces and be people who create an environment where it's okay and we don't have to pretend to be okay.
And that's why today is different. Today, we're introducing something that we've been praying about, something that we've been building, and something that's been created just for caregivers. Welcome to Grace to Care, where we have conversations about the grief, the grit, and the gift of caregiving. I'm Ferne Sapp.
And I'm Jessica Banner.
And I'm Miriam Lewis.
And we are Grace to Care together.
Yeah. 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 Welcome to Grace to Care. Take a breath, pull up a chair, little laugh, little truth to share with Grace to Care. Together for the ones who.
Oh, hello, Miriam. Welcome to
Hey!
Yes.
It's so good to see the two of you.
You too. Always a good time.
Indeed.
Yes, how you been doing?
I'm doing fantastic, or should I say amazing?
So good to hear. I want to hear a little bit from you, Miriam, because we haven't seen you live on podcasts since February, but how's the blog going? Because we know that you uplift that side of Grace to Care. So talk to us about that a little bit.
Well, I've been live on the blog. I tell you, I've had the best of times connecting with the caregiving community and, just hearing from them and working with the two of you to give them exactly what they need. So this is going, the Graced2Care Circles is going to be fantastic.
I'm excited.
We're super excited about it. When we first started out with the podcast, when we launched it, we thought it was just going to be about the conversations and that they would really encourage the caregivers. And they really have. We've been hearing testimonials from people all over. People have been responding on our YouTube channel. In fact, if you're out there on today and you don't know how to find us on our YouTube, listen, go out there to YouTube / at Grace to Care and, begin to share it all over because you might have picked this up through Facebook, but begin to share it all over. But we found out that something really happened out there, and that was that people really want to do more than just hear or come together and listen, right? People want to come together and find a place where they can really talk, right? A place where they could really just meet up, or a place where they can come into a circle or community of people who really understand what's going on. I mean, if we think about it, ladies, if the only time that we connected is through a podcast and we only just sat down and heard each other in the car, but we were never able to, engage or really talk back, it'd be a real difference. And so we realized that the podcast is great because it actually starts the conversations, right? But in that community, that's where we get a chance to change lives.
Absolutely. I had the same thought, Jess.
Well, I was just thinking, I've been hearing in our communities, but I've been blown away even in my personal life how many people have been reaching out and wanting to their caregiving, and I didn't necessarily know that they were, and they've just been like, thank you for doing this, because they want to have a voice they call me or they text me because they want to have a voice in the conversation.
Yes, and you're absolutely right. They want us to help them to apply the learnings. Like, here's my situation that's going on. How do I actually bring it to life? So we're continuing the conversation through small groups, or what we call the Graced2Care Circle. I think about it like a campfire. And when you're at a campfire, the best part isn't the flames, right? The best part is the circle. It's the people around the campfire. It's the place where friendships are just stabilized out there. Friendships are made. It's the place where wisdom is shared, and everyone leaves stronger than when they came or arrived into that at that campfire. And I believe that's exactly what caregivers need, and that's what we're hearing from our caregivers. They need a circle.
Absolutely. I personally love campfires. It's one of my all-time favorite things to do. And it's because I just love to sit and have the conversations. And that really hits me when I think about our caregivers, because caregiving can be very lonely, right? You can be isolated, you can be alone, you can be spending a lot more time alone, but you can also be in rooms full of people. You could be with your family, your friends, your church or faith communities. You can be with your actual local communities and still feel like you don't have much of a voice. You can still feel really alone. And so we really do want you not to have to be there anymore.
Absolutely. I love when we talk about it being a circle, right? Because there's something that we found out just in being in a circle, even with one another, and that's that caregivers just wait too long. Sometimes we wait too long to ask for help, too long really to even just pause and stop and take a rest, too long to sometimes just sit down and cry and really just admit that things are just not okay. And what we found that happens is by then, people are literally, caregivers are actually just exhausted, just depleted.
Mhm.
Yeah, so Fern, you're right. Waiting is not good, and caregiving is it's almost like the waiting is almost like driving a car, right? You know that gas light is on, you know the fuel, you know you need fuel, but you keep saying, "I'll stop later. I'll stop later. I'll stop later," and you don't stop. But
Mhm.
eventually the car stops. And I think that's exactly what many caregivers are what's happening to many caregivers today. And that's probably one of the reasons about 40% of caregivers die
Mhm.
before their care recipients, excuse me.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a pretty staggering statistic that we've learned this season, and we've shared it a lot because that's a lot. That's a huge statistic. And we really want our Grace to Care circle to be designed to keep you from running on empty. We want it to be a place where you can come, let off some steam, just help get a breather, right? We had Paul's on the porch because we wanted you to stop in and breathe with us, but we want you to actually stop in and talk to us this time. We're creating an actual porch, right? An actual circle, a place you can come and speak with us, because we know sometimes we just need to create a little capacity in our day so that we aren't trying to attack it after we're burned out. We want to help you get to it so you don't get burned out.
That's right, Jess. And here's what actually happens. Our Grace to Care Circle meets every Tuesday at noon Eastern time for just 30 minutes. That's it. It's 30 minutes dedicated to you, dedicated to caregivers.
Love that.
I love it. And I love the fact that it's going to be live. I love the fact that it's going to be interactive. It's not going to be recorded. So you don't have to worry about, whether or not it's a safe space. It's not going to be recorded. It'll be us together, real people, and a time for you to have just some real encouragement out there.
Mm. Love that. And I want you to come expectant, because there's room for everything. There's going to be weeks we laugh, there's going to be weeks we cry, we may pray together. We may just have weeks where we show up and listen, but we really just need the gift of presence with each other, right? And so we just really want to create a place that feels safe for caregivers.
That's right. And we'll have practical tools. You can expect practical tools and simple action steps. We'll walk through our affirmation journal together, and you can also get your copy of the affirmation journal by clicking on the link below or going
Yeah.
to our website at www.graced2care.com.
Yeah, I love that. People often want to know, okay, is this really for me, right? It is. So maybe you're caring for your spouse, or maybe you're caring for your parents.
Yeah. And for some of you, you're taking care of children, right? Some of you may be taking care of siblings, and you could be in any age bracket when you're doing that. You may be young, you may be a little bit older, or some of you may be more like me, right? You may be at the end of your caregiving journey, but you're still trying to figure out, how do I reintegrate and reacclimate, because I still feel like I've had this caregiving journey that I don't quite connect in the normal ways that I used to. And some of you may be caring for friends, right? And so I'm always surprised how many people are actually caregiving for their friends, not just their family, right? And so we just want to be a place that can help carry a little bit of that weight, because you all belong here.
So this is your invitation. We invite you to join us at our Graced2Care Circle. You can register today on our website at www.graced2care.com, and our first circle begins August the 18th. Mark the date on your calendar. That's August the 18th at noon Eastern Time.
I'm super excited about them because not only that, it's something that if you've been waiting, so maybe you've been waiting for somebody to understand, right? This is your invitation, right? We're telling you, this is your invitation. It's going to be a safe place. In fact, you can, be encouraging your heart. It's going to be a safe place. So if you've ever been saying, I wish I had people who really just got it, this is your invitation. Or if you've just been carrying something for far too long, guess what? This is your invitation.
Remember, what happens in the circle stays in the circle. The circle, also register at www.graced2care.com. And remember also that the circle is around the campfire. Everyone leaves stronger than when they arrived.
Absolutely. We want you to join the Graced2Care Circle. Don't keep trying to do this by yourself, right? Because caregivers were never meant to do this in isolation. You were never meant to do this alone. It was always meant to be done in community.
Well, remember, until next time, in caregiving, you're never meant to walk this journey alone, because we are Graced to Care
Together.
Strengthen every voice here says you belong. You seen your hair, you're strong. In caregiving, you're never meant to walk alone. We're Graced to Care together.